Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's study session. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the big blind, 20 big blinds deep defending. So we're going to be playing against opens from all the assorted positions. So we'll go through just a couple of theoretical spots here first and contrast how we play differently against kind of pairs of positions. So we're going to do button cutoff, then we're going to do hijack, low jack, then we're going to do under the gun one, and try and glean some different ideas about how these ranges interact with what we have. So simply, when the button opens, we are the big blind. We have 20 big blinds. We are going to be very actively jamming. And we're going to kind of be jamming a couple of different parts of our range. We're going to be jamming all of these pairs, um, trapping with some of our very best hands. And because we have a 3-bet non-all-in size here for value, we get some 3-bet non-all-in size along the pair axis here with these straight and flush combos, as well as a smattering of funky junk that we can do some 3-bet non-all-in bluffing with. We are going to be 3-betting our offsuit aces, primarily in the areas where our opponent is not jamming. The button raising into us is going to be jamming this block here between 5s and 8s. And so when we don't face a jam, when we face a raise,
I
we are
posted
going to
a link to this on
one of
my
these
women's
jams.
Discord if anyone joins.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks, Viv. I put it in general in Dr. K's thing every week. Um, and then we have some suited aces that are going to be jamming, a few bluffs here. Cutoff is going to have a very similar metric. Again, all of these aces are going to be jamming, a little bit of trapping with ace king, aces and kings. Again, so some 3-bet non-all-in raising along the pair axis here with our best suited connectors. Now we really come to the ace 10 as the spot that we get to jam and defend here. A few bluffs in the offsuit aces at the bottom, and a couple of funky ones with the king 7, king 8, and your worst queens and jacks, find slivers of micro 3-bets. And so these two positions, you kind of get that wide stance where you're going to be very jam heavy with your aces, calling all of your suited aces down here, defending along the pair axis, non-all-in 3-betting here, and non-all-in 3-betting here. So that's going to be your strategy largely against the button and cutoff. As we move to the middle position, our strategy changes a little bit. We don't include ace 10 in our attack-based strategy now, as the ranges start to get a little bit tighter. We are playing with ace jack primarily and ace queen off, or ace queen suited. Ace jack against the hijack, but it just becomes a call against the earlier position. Again, we're still in here with all our pairs, still doing some traps at the top. When we have those traps at the top, we get these traps in the suited connector area. And ace 5, the solver special, still does a bit of bluffing. And here it goes away. And we start to see what's going to be part of the strategy against the early position players, which is going to find our bluffs that are going to block the ace. And when they call, are going to have a little bit of suited value and a little bit of wheel value. We continue with all of our pairs here against the early mid position, but that is going to start phasing out as these earlier and earlier positions aren't opening full frequency with these low pairs. Very linear with our ace queen and a little bit with our ace jack. The component of our suited connected hands as we start to lose our ability to non-all-in jam. We really start to lose this ability and just have sporadic bluffs based on these suited 10 types hands. As we move to under the gun 1, we can now see that 2s, 3s, 5s, and 6s are not really looking to jam here. They're looking to call a lot. 4s does jam in the chart, but if you will look at the EV, and we'll take a look at it when we're in practice, the EV of jamming these is about the same as calling. So to simplify my strategy, I just go 7s plus here, right? We have some traps with aces and kings, which allows us a little bit of these suited 10s to non-all-in size. Our bluffs are some of these sporadic aces. Occasionally find an all-in 3-bet bluff. And our bluff jams come from these suited wheel cards. And against the earliest of positions, again, the same metric. 7s go out and 8s come in as the bottom of our range. 5s and 4s are still in here, mixing their stuff. But again, to simplify my strategy, I'm just going to go with 8s plus here, and I'm not going to find these quite as often. We are more cautious at the top of our range here. We really want to keep our opponent in with ace queen off, queen jack off, queen 10 off, because these hands are going to make top pair have the extra equity of the flush draw and be able to cooler the opponent's compressed range, which is really situated around suited broadways. So these hands do not want to put all the chips in here nearly as much. They want to essentially keep the fish on the line. So if you think of these hands as very trappy, these hands get to run their equity, these hands get to run their equity, these hands get to bluff. And that is the strategy against under the gun, whose range is just so tight to start with, right? As we looked at last week. Let's get to some trainer work now that we're done this kind of theory part of it and see how this applies. So we will start off by playing against under the gun 1 and weigh in. Jack 4 off. Is this a defense? We didn't really look at the bottom of the charts, but we will now. Is anyone wanting to defend Jack 4?
No, it's too early position.
Nope.
Get the
Robbie
fuck out
would.
of here.
Robbie would.
Robbie would, Jack 4. Yeah, I have a friend who who was keeping an eye on earlier today who really laid a noodle job with Jack 4.
I think somebody posted in the poker coaching study session hand history about that Jack 4 hand, actually.
Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at that later. So all of our suited hands are in here. They're going to find enough value making flushes and straights often enough to be able to splash around. All of these offsuit hands are going to struggle to realize their equity, right? So the offsuit 5s, the jacks, they're just not going to make it very well, particularly against this early part of the range. As we move around the horn and we play against the button and the cutoff, Jack 4 is going to creep in there. Jack 3 maybe. Queen deuce is going to get in here. 6-3 is going to get in here. So we'll see a little bit of different range construction as we kind of move around the horn. Queen 3. What did we say about Queen 3? Is that in or out?
Out.
Out, but it's probably mixing, right? It's gonna have a little bit in. Oh, it is
It's in.
pure in. Queen deuce that's gonna mix. So we find this rough board. Probably not when we get to lead on ever. Are we gonna call this kind of 3 straight, 1 over card? Are we gonna bluff it, or is this just trash?
Think it's a fold.
Yeah, that's a good call. This is just trash. It has
Yep.
the over, but it's not quite strong enough to continue here. Oh, especially against ace jack.
Hmm.
8-5 suited. We know all our
Yeah.
suited stuff is gonna call. Between 9 and 4, not really a decision we get to do. We get the 55-60% pot bet. I think this is probably just gonna fold.
Yep.
This one might be not very many playable hands afterwards here. Call. Right, all the cards along the pair axis are going to be able to call down to the very bottom. And king 10 board. We're going to have trouble defending even against a 1 chip bet here. So we're making a lot of really good decisions by giving away a chip and folding. I wonder if we're going to have some hands that interact. All right, king deuce suited. Let's get after it. Here we go. Top pair, worst kicker. And what are we going to do?
Call. Nothing else, I think.
What king would you raise here? Because remember, we're in here with king deuce suited and king deuce offsuit, everything in between.
Yeah, against the under the gun open where he opens like 9x, king
Mhm.
9 as his bottom range. So we start raising king 10, I think.
Let's
I
take a
think
peek.
at 20 big blinds, you're probably just raising all your top pairs. Or is that too much?
I think you can check jam it on wet boards.
So there is raising. It is not going to go all in.
Oh, you're protecting the equity of the backdoor flush draw, so it looks like if you don't have the backdoor flush draw.
If you have hearts or diamonds here, you just call, and if you have a clubs, you just raise it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the offsuit ones are pretty indifferent. It's mixing
Mhm.
raises and calls, and the EV decision between calling and raising is very minimal here,
Right.
being slightly more profitable to call than to raise, but both are good decisions. They're printing 4 chips. Suited one, we just call. You get this very bricky turn. And our opponent bets another 55% pot.
I don't feel good about this. I mean, it's like a theory call for sure.
Yeah, it's a
Like you-
call in theory. But what do you do if he jams river? Ooh,
Ooh, even
Yeah, you
better.
just run the rest. You just run the
Yeah.
rest of it.
You
Yeah.
just take it and say, good luck with your hand, sir. I have a king. Is it doing this
Eh.
with all the kings here? Because the turn was a non-suited card, it forces him to double barrel to fold all of our flush draw backdoors that are going.
it's a Bedougie turn.
Yep.
Yeah, it is actually a Badoogie.
Yeah, and it just traps with all of the 2 pairs and just raises
Jams,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, everything else jams, traps with 2 pairs, and bluffs with double belly buster 76. Right? Still calling all of the 9s. Right? Like you think it's a tough one with a king. How do you like having a 9 here? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna give our buddy credit for bluffs.
Alright. But let's take a look, like what's under the gun one strategy on this turn?
Yeah, his ace jacks, his ace jacks, his ace queens, maybe some of his like queen tens, like all that stuff should still be, everything that he barrels that's airy on the flop should continue on this turn because of the Badoogie nature of it.
Yep, if we change this to a 3 of hearts, his 28% check strategy becomes 28% check strategy. It doesn't change. And he
I
just
think it doesn't change, yeah.
Yep. He just barrels everything and big and just presses the range advantage here.
I think equities remain the same as
Yep.
in the flop. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, equities
Now, if it
50,
was like
48.
if it was like a 6 through an 8, a 6, 7, or 8,
Yeah,
I bet
it
it,
would
I
change.
bet it would, change the strategy a bit.
Yeah.
Although the equity buckets have significantly narrowed. Here he was just way ahead
Hmm.
across everything, but after we call, there's a fair amount of connection and crossover here, right? Like he's barreling, but it is not good.
Right, yeah, like
Yeah.
like everything's pretty intertwined. I mean, equities are still running pretty close. It's just.
Yeah.
He's got
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
I mean, at this stacked up, I would probably just put my chips in. That may be
Yeah,
a
but
bit
I think
much.
it will be, it will want to induce to raise some of the time. I don't know, do we have a caller in some percentage?
There's gonna
Feels a
be some
bit strong, but I don't know.
there's gonna be some calls with slightly worse hands, like ace jack, ace 10 maybe, but I think this is gonna mix these two here.
Yeah, but
Maybe
in
just
game,
jam
I think
this.
jam, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Does call some.
Does call some. I am slightly
Yeah,
surprised by
that's
the
call
just
a
call.
lot.
And
But,
it kind of makes sense because it does like to defend a lot of your
Top
big
pair.
suited ace X doesn't always shove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also, it is under the gun. It's not like, this guy doesn't have better in his range.
yeah, when we were
Oh.
talking about it in theory part, the ace queen suited against this player's here, it just wants to keep in the worst queens, right? Like ace queen, it wants to keep in king, queen jack, queen 10, queen 9, right? So
Yeah.
it's just happy to do that, and it's also happy to keep in all these worst aces. Wow. And even though it has to play out of position post flop, it's strong enough, and it
Yeah.
also protects your flatting range here with some really strong hand too.
And there's gonna be a lot of runouts where you're just gonna be able to get it in anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is in game, what do you think the population defends to a 3x big blind 3-bet against under the gun open 20 BB effective? Like, do you think they defend king queen off? Queen jack off?
Well, let's
I
take a
don't think so. According to the GTO ranges, yes, but
No, I don't think king queen off, king jack off. I think those would fold, but I think all of the suited king X would call.
okay, let's see.
So let's take a look at what
I
his
think he
calling
should
range.
defend a lot against the 3x.
Yep. He still defends queen jack. He still defends a bit of king.
Okay,
queen,
that
king,
seems
queen
reasonable. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Right? So folds 35, calls 46, jams 17. And to be honest, our ace queen, like against the jam range here, 8s is fine, 9s is fine, queens and kings are bad, but I mean, what are we gonna do? We have ace queen, we were gonna jam anyways. Right? Ace king, we were just gonna run into it because we were gonna jam anyways. But we keep in a bit of this ace jack, ace 10, ace 5, 8s and 9s. So, I think we're probably okay with this anyways. And it allows us to be a little bit tricky. And we get this flop. Now, our non all in component is going to be some terrible bluffs and some very strong hands. This is a very strong hand that's flopped very well. Are we going to see bet this?
I would see bet it small.
I
if
think
you
it will want, yeah, 10%. But in reality, do you see it or check it?
I see bet this. I mean, he's still gonna have reasonable equity against this hand.
How much do you see it? 20%, something like that?
If I micro three bet, I'm gonna see bet like 20, a quarter of the pot probably. So like, what's the pot? 14? So like, I'm around that 3 number.
Okay,
Is there going to be any element of our hand that's going to play check jam here?
I think aces.
I don't.
I doubt we have
I-
any checks here at all. I
I
think
think you're gonna
everything
have
here is a smaller big.
checks.
I think everything here is a smaller, small, tiny or small bet.
I just
Wow.
don't think this hand is gonna be in that range.
Okay,
It
nice.
just bets and bets small.
Mm-hmm.
The hands that will check are gonna be like your big pairs, I think, like, I
Yeah.
think aces, kings will probably
But
do some checking.
I don't even think those check with
But how
the
the solver balance it? Let's see with which hands he balance it.
Let's take a peek. See. So there
Nope.
aren't checks here for us. It is just betting everything in our range and it's betting it small.
Okay.
Yeah,
because our range
Yeah.
is just so strong. I mean, there's really no.
it's probably the nature of the board too. It's like, it's a jack, it's a 7-7, 7-4-4. It's just like, it's out of range.
Yeah. So he's got he only has ace 4 here and ace 7 as is the hands that interact with the board. So really he's got his remaining pocket pairs, which do include aces. And we have our remaining pocket pairs. So this is kind of a equity push of who has the better pocket pair.
Yeah, and remember when
And-
we're
and-
raising 6, we don't really like. We're always going to jam 10s and 9s and jacks and 8s here. Oh, we're gonna have a very narrow. We should have a very narrow 3-bet, not all in range. It's literally probably just aces and kings and some sporadic other stuff like this.
Yeah, well, you should find these slippers, all these offsuit aces, sorry, and all these suited tens. should be-
Honestly, those offsuit aces, they print from the big blind, especially when you get later and there's like a lot of pressure to navigate.
Yep.
They find their way always into the range and they're very good.
I'll usually try to pick 1 or 2 rather than trying to find the slivers in game. I'll just pick 1 or 2 and just say
Yep.
ace 10
Yeah.
off is going to be my like jam
Yeah,
today.
that's how you should. That's good.
All right, so we
simple.
see bet and got called.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just jam.
that's pretty badoogie, right? It's pretty blanky, not much there. I think you just keep going. And I
Just
I
not
like jam. I do like jam.
can. Put it all in or try and fish along.
Nah, just put it on.
Just put it all
Oh,
in.
really? Really?
Really, here we go with all the options. All of them are the exact same EV, although jam is micro higher.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, because of how we've played this, we have so few chips behind that
Are
it's
we really
like,
supposed to, what did we do pre-flop?
We
Because,
we micro 3-bet.
oh, I was like, I'm so confused because I jam all the time. Is that a leak?
no,
it's
okay.
jamming's
think so.
okay. If you
Although, like ace queen particularly was never jamming. It's just mixing the calls and the micro 3-bets pre-flop.
Mhm.
You're talking about minuscule amounts of equity difference, though. Like it's like like
Yeah.
0.01.
So this
big
one, we can just do whatever we want. I don't care.
So here, if we stuff the turkey, we get called by jacks. suck out
And
on it.
said, and now he's gonna go curse all the way to the cage.
That's right. He played it as well as he could. He kept us as wide as possible, included every bluff in here. But really,
Wait, he
like,
doesn't jam jacks over pre-flop if we just raise small
That's what I was thinking,
for
Vivian. I
20
was
big
thinking like,
blinds? What the heck?
I
Yeah,
was thinking,
jacks, yeah, jacks call. If
I
it
jam
queens,
jacks if it's if
the
I'm just
the
not gonna
reason you
take
don't
jacks.
is that our 3-bet range is literally aces, kings, and ace queen suited and some sporadic bluffs. So hands like queens and jacks really don't perform all that great against that range.
Yeah, so we're here with aces, kings, ace, queen, a little bit of queens, a little bit of suited tens, some 7s, 6s, and 5s, and then a smattering of all this trash. Right? These are our non all-in 3-bets.
That's why it
So-
feels weird, but it really does make sense. Like against this, against a solver who's playing this way, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Look, when you're on offense, that's the best time to play GTO. So I'll tell you this: when you find a 3-bet non all in with king 9 or queen 8, you know what everyone's gonna think? You have aces and kings.
they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, she has aces.
Yeah.
yeah, but
you
don't
get-
start overdoing it, huh?
Yeah,
Well, that's why I find
well,
slivers of it.
Yeah, that's
that's
the
why
thing,
you should
right?
simplify it for taking one combo instead of all this one instead of all the 10%.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's again, that's what I do in game. I'll pick like a combo.
Sure.
And usually what it is, it's like the
And then
first
you're
combo that I
balanced,
know
yeah.
I'm supposed to bet a sliver and I just say, okay, yeah, that's it.
Ace
This one is a
9.
call,
Okay, are we
then I
gonna
guess.
are we
No,
are we
It's a
gonna find a
raise
sliver?
overcall. Yeah, you can raise.
So this is
As
gonna
we saw.
sliver or a fold?
I don't think you ever fold this, right?
No, I don't think you fold, yeah.
no, the slivers were the worst ones.
Oh.
Now we say,
you 3-bet
darn.
bluff. You fold. Ooh, pocket 8s. All right.
Call.
Ooh, nasty board.
Yeah, it's probably just a check fold.
Well, you put only one chip in. How can we fold?
We
Very
would
easy.
probably, oh, I was
I
gonna say,
think we have clubs, Mr. Peter. I look like there's clubs right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Easy call.
that's the thing. If you have the backdoor flush, you probably do continue there.
Yeah, we can take a quick look at that.
that makes a lot of
It's,
sense.
Matt Affleck told us not to go at light speed too often and to deep delve into these spots.
Hey,
Take
look at
a
that.
look.
We're learning, Pete. I love it.
We're learning slowly but surely. Okay, so what did we have? We had ace 7.
Yeah, it's just not even, but if you
All
look at
the
the
back
EV,
doors.
if you look at the EV is slightly better with the backdoor, but it's really not enough to write home about, like. Oh, the call, never mind. Actually, the call is substantially different. It's still just slightly negative EV though.
That we just have too many queens because we defend down to queen 4 off. That we get to defend with here,
Hmm.
and then too many hands that interact with this. It just doesn't need to pick these ones here. Right?
Yeah,
We
we're
find
just
the
too
wild-
short. It's just kinda whatever.
Yeah, the ace deuce ones do.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna,
That's the
this
only.
is a spot where we're gonna have we're gonna have a lot of stuff that we're just gonna raise over this anyway. Yeah.
All right. Ace king suited.
Ooh,
So I know they do different stuff with this hand, but I don't know, man. I just pile this in still at 20.
Yeah, me too.
At,
That's
at
fine.
a position, yeah.
What
we're
about
here
ace
to learn.
king off?
I do the same thing at 20.
Yeah, ace king off and ace queen off are more inclined to just jam it.
To jam, yeah.
Right? The suited variety, it gets up to a little bit of trouble.
So this is a small bet, like you could go like the 1.35 or that 3.4. No, it's not even
Look at
doing
that.
1.35. Check some.
Check king 30 hands. So sneaky. And we saw that it was before kind of going all over the board here, but mostly went with this type of arrangement.
Yeah, I guess you could get him with that.
Yeah,
It's
again, the
interesting
EV
on the flop, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said it's interesting on the flop, it does check a bit. It may
Yep.
be because of the jack. If
I-
the
I
board
mean-
was like ace four deuce, do we still have checks?
I
Or
think
do we
it's,
check more?
I think it's probably just because of how the under the gun one player reacts when we check to him. Like, he's just gonna barrel off some hands.
I think the jack has something to do with it because of defense, his
Maybe.
defense range.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to why it goes 3.4 on this instead of small, just because, is that just because his range interacts better with that? And when we have good hands, we just wanna like get all the money in?
Yeah,
I
like
think
you could
it's just, go ahead, Pete.
see our opponents here. They're littered with aces and all their aces want to bet.
Mhm.
And this board structure, our opponent's just gonna have a lot of betting here when we check. Right?
Hmm.
They're only gonna check back 40% of the time. And it's a function of we have the board so locked up that really kind of no matter what card comes, we're just gonna stack off here. And you were wondering about like ace four
Yeah,
two.
look, he check with jacks. That's interesting.
So on ace 5-2, again, now we range bet this one. When our opponent has the jack, it connects to the top of the range that's going to give them the ability to bet their draws more often. When we check, like we don't check here because our opponent would check on this board a lot.
Hmm,
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas before with the ace and the jack, it's going to connect their king 10's going to want to bet, their queen 10's going to want to bet. It's
Okay.
going to open up their
reasonable.
betting frequency, which allows us to check raise.
yeah, like if you think about like what they're defending and opening from under the gun one, like on ace, jack, two-tone, it's almost like, what parts of their range don't connect with that in some way? Like that didn't pick up equity. Very, very few combos.
Yeah, probably their pairs under the jack. That's probably about it.
Yeah,
And yeah, we just super cooler ace four.
I don't know. Do you call the turn? After that, I don't know.
Well, you have to. So here's one of the kind of the ideas. When you have under 20 big blinds and you flop top pair, how many hands do you have left if you fold that hand to flop top pair or better again? Right? To have top pair or an overpair. It's just like the odds of you going broke are just really high.
hmm,
So it's very resilient calling with top pair.
yeah, the stack off threshold has been lowered quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Oh. Are we calling? Are we check raising?
You might be able to check raise a combo like this. I think because it's ace, ace, eight, maybe we don't. I don't know. I would
This
call
is
here
so
in
weak,
game, I
it can
think.
raise if it wants, but
Yeah.
it doesn't like raise. I guess the ace makes me less likely to raise. Oh my gosh, let's guess.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
would
say
call.
call, but-
35% raising. No, it's gonna be raising more. It's so freaking weak. I don't know. Let's see.
I
50%
think it's a pure
raising,
call.
I
35% raising. Final answer.
Final answer.
Anyone
I
else?
like it. I think she might be right.
30%. You're way
Mm.
up. But primarily check.
35%, but in the wrong direction, bro.
Yeah, no, great idea, Viv. This hand has enough
It's
equity just
weak.
to be able to call here. But it benefits better from generating fold equity with its raise.
I guess actually
Mm.
looking at the chart, we are calling a lot of aces versus under the gun than because it's not versus like button where we just jam all our aces. We actually have a lot of aces
Yep.
on our pre-flop ranges.
Yeah, we definitely have
and-
smatterings.
Look at, we're in here with all these aces and all these aces want to check raise. And when we do that, all these combos of spades want
Especially
check raise.
these weak spades.
Yeah, even our best spades are all check raising at some frequency, and even more so when we get here at the top.
Yeah, it's
Right, the only
basically
one-
the better your spade, the more likely it is to raise, which is a little interesting. But
The
kind
only
of
one
makes
that wants to
sense.
call is king, queen, and king jack, right, which are your best unpaired hands here. And can just turn the best second pairs. Right? Everything else wants to go. The eights are struggling, but are coming along for the ride. And then,
Wait, what
It's
do you mean the
turning-
eights are struggling? Queen eight?
yeah,
You mean
like
he
it's
bets
not,
one big blind and we're supposed to freaking fold an eight?
yeah, it's mixing. Like if you look at it, it wants to call with the eight of hearts and really struggles with all the other
Wait,
eights.
so I'm not supposed to call all those eights.
You can call them sometimes.
I'm calling all those eights.
I know
To this,
Not-
he betting 1.1 big blind.
that's a disrespect.
Yeah, I think as our 8 gets worse, the likelihood that or
Yeah.
because he's also gonna have like king, jack, queen, like type hands where we just get coolered or counterfeited in spots too.
Okay, now he double barrels small, but probably all his range is double barreling small here. We called and raised before. Are we still calling?
Probably I would call.
I think.
It
In
might even
terms of
like,
odds, we get the odds, I think.
it may
I wa-
like start folding.
I wonder if this is like a click back, actually. I would not be shocked if this was a click back. We start clicking back our flushes at this point.
Okay, we'll examine that.
I think we
And
fold.
you are
yeah.
right. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
a click back. Calling is not an option here. If you fold, that's okay. But if not, well, you're doing that. And if you're flat, I guess all those aces on the flop, like all of them are flatting a little bit.
Because now we're trying to get him to fold his overcards to our bad flushes. We're trying to get him to fold.
I guess that makes sense because I was like, man, I don't understand the logic, but yeah, we guess
Yeah, like he's
calling
gonna
is
have some.
disrespectful.
He's gonna have some king X, queen X here. He's gonna have better. He's gonna have some king X and queen X here that's gonna want to continue. That we have to just try to like get out now. I mean, we're never folding at 8, obviously, and we're never
No, we fold this.
we're never folding at 8. So we're never folding at 8. We might not. I don't know what he does to a 6. That would be the interesting one. 8 or a
So-
6.
We're just cleaning up the air here.
Yeah.
Right? He folds 30% of combos and all of them are beating us.
Yep.
I like it then. I like it. So wait, are we how far do we go with these raising flush draws? It's like jack highs, 9 highs?
I think it goes all the way to. I would think it would go all the way to probably queen high, probably. You
Oh
might
yeah.
wanna call- yeah.
Dang, so he double barrels and we're supposed to freaking click back?
Yeah,
I
because if you
don't
think
have
about
that
it,
move in my game. I suck at poker.
yeah, because if you think about like a lot of his under the gun raising range is going to be like the good Broadway king and queen X. We have like queen
So
4
we're
of
saying if
spade.
I don't have king high at least, but I have a flush draw and that I want to defend, I'm gonna fold. I guess you're folding the really bad flush draws and then 9 deuce is kind of like the borderline.
I
and
think
then-
it might even be that we're doing it with all of them. I
The
would even
ones
think
with the
something like
pair-
5-2 might.
Yeah, the ones with the pair call. And then all of the ones at the top are raising. And the really worst ones are clicking because there is a slight danger that when we don't hold a queen, jack, or 10 here, that he's betting a bigger flush draw.
Oh,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, these ones really struggle here. So these ones are kind of looking to give up, but our 9 is just good enough to get in. Which is why I was mixing with the folds and with this. Okay, so we check raise
All
the turn.
in. I'm going all in. I don't care. Look at this. Look at this.
get
We have a
here,
9. It went
Bottom of
6,
range.
7, 8, 9. Let's go. All in. I have a fake straight.
Well, we folded out a bunch of his non ace air on the turn when we gave him the click. So what's he left with here? He's left with some 8s, very few because he's under the gun. He's left here with some flush draws.
You're
Very few,
basically
'cause-
like targeting kings through like 9s or a flush draw, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just
How?
Instead
So,
of think
so
10
you're
big
saying that
blind.
once we click back on the turn, we fold out all of the cards that we're gonna fold out, enough of his range, that now his range is too strong for us to bluff the river. Because
Yeah,
also
but
having spades is pretty bad.
you
'Cause
got
he
trash
we have
cards
less
for
miss
bluffing.
spades for him.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, you're just gonna, that hurts my brain. That hurts.
Yeah.
Although to be honest, like when I was learning poker, you guys kept reviewing my hand history. It was like, you give up on the river too much. But then it's like there's so many spots where it's like you folded out what you were gonna fold out on the turn that you're not folding out any new stuff on the river. How is
We've
it? Wait,
come
that was
full
a 100%,
circle.
that was a 99% check.
Yeah. I mean,
Really?
Yeah,
Nine
just gives up
high.
with 9 deuce.
But we have only 9 high. We can't.
because if we jab, he calls with
He's
all of
gonna
his.
call too.
He does fold some stuff. He does fold king 8 suit. I'm sorry, I'm running this
Okay.
on the side at the same time you are, so I apologize for cheating.
No problem.
I guess
this one-
it's 'cause
this
we
one
only
was-
have
this
half
one was,
a
like,
pot
interesting, so I was
bet
running it.
size, so we can't fold as much. Mm,
He sticks with all his aces, all his under pairs,
No, it sets full houses.
kings, queens, jacks, kind of call. These ones are all the 0 EV and the straight. Right? Yeah, these under pairs have all housed up, but like he's still here with 9s and 10s. Right? Blocking.
Yeah, and you're blocking like nut hands. You're blocking the straights. It's
But his
somehow got
pocket
there.
kings are 0 EV hands here.
You just
Wonder-
don't have good, you just don't have good blockers here to be target, like, he's not folding enough, like. And it's even worse in real life because his range is not even gonna be as wide as the solver range.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if the
Oh.
solver wants to check, then
Yeah, we needed to pull the trigger on the flop maybe to get him to
we
fold
jam
those.
this, right? Or we're not supposed to jam versus under the gun.
you could probably play, raise or call. This, I
Yeah,
mean,
calling
honestly,
seems legit good.
you gotta think about like what the worst hand he's opening under the gun is.
Just call, just call.
Yeah, so ace queen is gonna want to jam against these two. Ace jack is gonna want to jam against these two, and ace 10 is gonna want to jam here, and this one is gonna be expanded even more. But if you
Yeah, that-
think of it as
Yeah.
queens, jacks, 10s,
Like it.
well, happy days. This is
So-
Vegas and the
all-
Mirage.
We created
Question
some
is,
dopamine.
do you raise or do you just call?
I think you call.
I like raising,
You can
but
raise
we can
because
also like, doesn't top 2 usually like raising, and then we call like ace, I mean 9, no, I guess we can call our top 2 pairs on this kind of rainbow, no real, not so connected. I mean, I guess you can do both.
So
Okay,
what-
I'm gonna
what's
guess
the-
the frequency's wrong again. I think we're gonna raise 50%.
Okay.
So now I can't, if you say 50-50, you can't be wrong, right?
Kind of. So here's the thing. What's the worst card for us on this turn?
The
Maybe 10 of
worst?
spades? 10 of spades or the queen of spades? Queen of hearts?
I would I would say the king of
King,
like
yeah.
spades.
I was thinking a king too, but I like how you say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
I don't usually
if
think about the worst card, the best card as much.
if the worst card in the deck comes, is there any chance we're gonna fold this hand?
No, never.
Oh,
Because we're just.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's always raising. I told you it was raising.
As its range
Oh,
interacts a lot with this.
Story checks
board.
out.
Yeah.
It's just too strong. It's top two. We want to get in versus his ace king when so that like when a 10 or a jack comes, he is still putting his ace king. Like we want to get in versus all of his. Well, I guess he doesn't have any ace king. What the heck? She
Yeah.
does.
No,
Well,
this is our,
it's
No,
also
it's
also
our
I think
range.
it's also nice because like his ace king and his ace queen are gonna just pile at this point. Even ace 10. will
Yeah,
probably
like
pile.
all we just get value from all of his top pair that might be annoyed by a worse card.
oh,
Like
Mhm.
this.
talk
This
about
comes
getting
and
the
now it's
worst
an
card.
action killer versus the ace king.
Okay.
We're still gonna put, like you said, we're still getting it in, or
We're just
but
plowing
you want to do
headlong
that
into it.
small bet,
All in, I
the
think.
turn small bet, or
With
you can go all in.
with the
Either
ace
or.
of hearts, do we ace of hearts, jack of diamonds? I'm just thinking, yeah, no, I think this is a shove.
So generally, when you're out of position and you've check raised, when your hand, like when your draw improves its equity, your draw barrels. If we'd have a hand like Queen 10, we had the straight draw here, we would now have a marginal mate hand and our hand would be inclined to check. Right? If we had King 8 of hearts and we'd check raised the flop, now we turn the heart, we would barrel the King 8. Right? So I'm not sure what this is going to do.
I feel like it's a big equity completer, so I would just jam.
Yeah.
And that is the right motion. It has a little bit of check and mostly just says, I don't know what you have. I don't care what you have. I'm never folding this hand. Good luck.
He's gonna have like a 10 here some of the time. The queen's gonna give him 2 pairs some of the
Gonna have
time. He's
ace
gonna,
king, ace 10. Yeah.
Just the other ace check. Take a look at the entirety of this range because this is a spot that is pretty spicy. After it goes check, raise, check, our strategy is just jamming all our value, all the 2 pairs. Queen Jack is checking. Queen 9 is checking. Jack 10 is jamming. Jack 9 is jamming. Weird that like it protects its checking range with Queen Jack. And just jams the rest of stuff.
Yeah, the solver is really fond of taking like middle pair heads with a additional equity and jamming them in these spots. Just loves to do this.
Yeah, and Queen 10, it also checks now.
And it makes sense because when you have like Jack 10, it's less likely he has ace jack, Jack 9, Queen Jack.
It checks
King 10.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Savage. And very unusual spot. Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll move to the middle positions, then we'll move to the early positions. Well, this one's going to be an easy one.
Come on, we got a call. It's Jack
Wait.
4 off.
It's Jack 4. Oh.
No, seriously.
Get out of here. All right.
Okay, wait.
Here we go. Open up the positions a little bit. Let's go.
Middle position. We get to probably jam more with their aces. Maybe.
All right. King, queen off, hijack. Are you jamming?
No, I'm just gonna call. No, we can wait. I don't know. Call.
Here?
Raise.
Call, raise, fold.
You
All
can
in.
jam. you
Okay,
can
we're gonna go
call.
all in, but we're not gonna go all in as much. Mostly, I think we're gonna call. We're gonna go all in 40% of the time.
60.
Oh,
Good job.
60.
Oh, so close.
It's you can do both. You can do whatever you want. Just don't
As-
raise to 6. And don't
as we-
fold.
As we get into these back half spots, we are going to be more aggressive here. And this is a hand that is ahead a lot, and it really doesn't want to fold. It benefits from generating some fold equity against the slightly bigger range of these guys. But it also calls just fine too. Keeps in the worst queens. Oh boy. Disrespectful bets.
I don't it's not disrespectful
I think
enough.
it's a
Just
fold.
no,
No?
don't
Like-
fold.
20% fold, 80% check raise.
No, just call. Wait,
Just
I
call.
think there might be, let's say, I mean, what do you really benefit if you check raise this though? I don't see a benefit.
Oh,
Making fold sevens. I don't know. He see bet sevens, eights.
Because I
nines.
feel like he's supposed to call 10s versus our check raise. He's supposed to call like we're not like, we don't get any benefit from making any king highs fold. Because we have the
No.
best king high.
but
Yeah.
do we make pocket nines and worse fold?
I mean, probably, but I still don't see that this is like check raising. Like it's
Okay.
gonna be calling.
You are right,
Yeah.
you're a solid tip. Okay, let's delve in here a little bit and see what
Like
we
I feel
can-
like this board would have like for the big blind a lower check raise than like boards that actually help us, but it probably like 10. No, it has very low. What's our check raise?
Oh, here's
It's
what
not-
it is. So there's two elements of the straight here. There's the Broadway end, and these ones want to call, but there's the wheel end, and these ones want to raise. That's what we were missing.
Oh, I actually guessed a lower check raise percentage too. I was like, man, there's probably like 8, but it's actually, it does check raise. I forgot about the wheel end with the deuce.
Yeah, it's
We
just
can
all
really
this
just raise
trash.
all that stuff.
So it has a bunch of aces that it raises for value.
And then it's a board where you get to raise queen or bottom pair sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
And
then
then
when you hit
all
the
of-
queen or the king, they don't expect it.
Yeah, none of these have to bluff because all of these are here. If this is ace 10, well, ace 10 6, you're gonna have the 9-8 block that's gonna do it.
Yeah,
So
ace
these are
10 6, it's
call.
gonna have a different straight draw combo. So you're probably not using king queen and king jack.
Yeah, so all of this is gonna call, all of this is gonna raise when it's ace 10 6. Right, and then now it's the wheel, so it's all that stuff. Okay,
Look,
good stuff. So we get a call. Oh man, if we'd have raised, like this just hits our raising range. And it goes check, check.
dang.
Pairs.
I still don't see how this is in like any bluffing kind of range. Cause in terms of better hands folding it and it wins sometimes.
Is it just gonna start choosing queen high and jack high here to bluff? Just not bluffing.
We just have a lot of bad hands that get to bluff. I don't even think.
I think we probably protected
Oh, we
our,
can, cause now we're value betting all our aces and all our 10s. All our 10s are value betting here. Oh, our 10s are trips. Never mind. Just kidding.
yeah, so it looks like it's doing king, jack off, king, queen, jack off.
So it's bluffing the worst straights that didn't complete. Right, these ones that it just checks these ones.
Wait, oh, never mind. Our 5s hit a pair.
Yeah.
Dang, so I guess everything that called on the flop
Yeah.
here.
It's a
Hit
weird run
something.
out. Yeah, yeah, that's why it's a weird run out. And there's really not a lot of logical bluffs here.
Yeah, like everything we have has equity, This is all pairs. These are all straights or pairs, right? King deuce, queen deuce off. Right?
Pairs. So
Like
yeah,
our
you're
area
right. Our
here.
queen high and jack high, our queen highs are bluffs now.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which explains why we would come here.
So king
And
jack
that-
and king. So king queen is not a bluff because they're best king, but we need to be bluffing king jack and king 10 because all the stuff that we called on the flop turned so much with that 5.
Yeah. Well, king 10 is trips, right?
Oh,
King
I mean
10 is
no,
trips.
king jack and queen
Just-
jack.
Yeah. Queen jack bluffs.
So I
We
guess
just don't have a lot of bluffs here. Right? We're
Dang.
littered with value. We have top pair with the ace. We have trips with tens. Like if we take a look, like we're just so heavy with value here. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, so it's gonna probably be a spot where we bet like our best made hands. Bigger,
Oh,
but no all ins. I didn't know if like. In that spot, which I thought
Yeah,
was,
it's just because we have so many value hands that like we just don't get to go all in with them.
yeah, and our opponent's range isn't strong enough to like. Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely a crawl in here. Ooh.
this is a check raising board. This is a
a-
board that Lewis would be like, yo, if you don't raise this right now, then you're fired from the study group.
Is this a leading board?
Maybe I don't find the leads enough, but I think mostly like
No, it's usually
non-paired.
low connected. I don't think low paired boards you lead.
Yeah, I don't
You-
think low
you-
paired boards lead as much, but
You might low
sometimes I get
frequency, but
surprised.
Okay, we'll take a look, but I don't think this hand would choose to lead anyways. This hand is probably going to want to check raise, but I would be leading here with 9-10 of diamonds.
9-10 of diamonds, what?
Just absolute nonsense that you're just trying to get to fold like
You
queen high
yeah,
and
you get
king high.
better stuff to fold.
Just lead with 9-10 of diamonds and be like, haha, you should have. I know
Uh,
it's 100% check.
What did I say? 9-10 of diamonds. Where's 9-10 of diamonds? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, we don't even have it in range.
Yeah, because we
Oh.
would jam that probably, maybe.
So if you find the slivers here, you find some slivers. I mean, we can live in the slivers and be happy with it, but that's really just a punt.
It's just because they have all of the pairs that we don't have,
Now,
so we can't just liberally lead.
you said Louis Philippe would make you check raise this hand, eh, Viv?
You better check raise this hand.
All right.
Oh, what the hell?
Eh.
Louis Philippe, it just gives you bad habits.
So at 40 big blinds, this is probably going to be a pure check raise. But here at 20 big blinds, you got to be more cautious.
yeah, you don't have enough breathing room with these, these equity bluffs. Like his response to your check raise is gonna be a jam, right?
Mm,
So like,
yeah.
it's kind of a disaster if you check raise with a hand like this and you just torch your equity because you can't call a jam.
So a hand like 6.
So I want to have more
deuce.
bullshit if I'm check raising.
Yeah, like if we look here, 6 deuce wants to check raise more. Right? Because 7-6 has 2 overs that it can hit. Right? And has a little more equity in the hand.
Wait, are we check raising 6-7 that doesn't have any backdoors? Does that matter? As I saw, it was checks raising some 6-7. Just not here.
So some of the mixed 6-7 was going to. The 7 of spades kind of makes us want to hang around a little more. Right?
Yeah,
So
so wait, no.
6 of
Yeah, all of our
spades.
spades.
Yeah, the 6 of spades is pure calling. The 7 of spades raises a little bit. And when you have the heart, it has a little bit of raising. And when you don't have any suits, it's just pure calling.
Okay.
I think it's interesting, like if he bets 1 instead of 1.8, you're gonna see something different. I don't know if you want to show everyone.
Sure.
Pete. Just
Oh
have him
wait,
bet
that's it. Might
1.1.
be that might be interesting.
We'll give him the more disrespectful bet size.
And you see that we actually check raise that significantly more.
So if it's
Yep.
disrespectful, your check raise a lot more. If he's
But
like
again, you
range
could
betting 1.1,
against his more
because you have to
disrespectful
defend
size.
versus the one versus
Yeah.
more than versus the 2, you're allowed to
it's-
fold more.
Because it's because it should be a somewhat stronger and more polarized range.
Yeah, we're
I
much
mean,
more
you do
driven
see
by
that
the
like
the
so
flush
like
equity.
pretend that he bet 3. You're probably not check rate. So right now you're check raising 27%. If he bets 3, say he decides I'm gonna bet 3. You're
There's a
not gonna
little bit.
check raise. Oh no, you're still check raising sometimes.
Yeah, 3, but 3,
No,
he's
when
gonna
he
almost
bets
have no
3, when
3.
he bets 3, we're not going to.
Yeah,
check
but he has
raise.
almost no 3. He almost has almost no 3 bet threes,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be either 1.8 or 1.1.
I know,
Yeah,
I
that
know,
would-
but just like as the bigger the bet, the less you check raise.
Um,
So the less you find those savage check raise bluffs.
maybe because
Let me know that's just
the
how
really low
it's
frequency
pattern.
3 bets, the real low frequency gets really tricky here.
Go back to what did he do? 1.8 and we called.
1.8.
Yeah.
And there's
1.8 we called.
I guess we'll find out what the turn is.
Continue. 8.
Oh, it's like internet
Whoa.
poker.
All right.
Yeah,
equity
it's not
improved.
if I think if it's like connected, like you get to bet, but the 8 is not connected to the 3, so we can't bet lead.
He polarized.
Shit.
Not bad.
Mm.
So now, like, this tells me that when the 7 or the 6 comes, like, our hand's not always going to be good here.
Mhm.
So I think I am probably going
Oh,
to
yeah,
fold.
we're open ended, but don't have the odds, and that's where we're just like, come on, just
Yeah.
fold.
26%. We're not
For
quite getting it.
we could be. Does he ever do this with a 85? Because if he ever has a 5 here and we have live outs or
No,
7s and 6s are live.
I wouldn't waste.
He does have some 5s, but he's also going to have all the overpairs here too.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling it's going to tell us to call. Oh,
No,
yeah.
it doesn't like to fold
Call or
straight
stuff.
draws. I think it does like to jam a lot of times like
And
that.
I really think that's a function of having the 2 cards over the 5.
Hey,
really do.
question. What does he do with all of his flush draws when you pile in his face here?
I think
Ex-
a lot of them have overcards though. I don't know.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
see.
I
So when
imagine-
we stuff in his face,
I imagine the
His
flush draws
response-
just call off because most of the flush draws are going to also have live overcards.
Wait, so on 20 big
Yeah.
blind, we get to be very aggressive on the turn compared to the flop at like other stack sizes.
yeah, all his flush draws call and they all print.
Yeah, duh. Because they all
So
have
we're-
overcards, almost all of them.
Yeah, we're going to generate 35% fold equity, and sometimes we're going to hit win, but we're not in a good spot here.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't play it this way. I would agree that probably in game against most players, I would just fold here. But
I'm sorry, I was missing, I missed it. What did the flushes do?
All his flushes call.
yeah, because all of his
All-
flushes
All his flush
are-
draws call.
yeah.
All right, call this.
Easy call, all our suited hands.
The 6-7
Oh.
hand was really weird.
He checks. Well, Is this a give up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably.
We're the
Like,
big
I don't-
blind. We're so wide.
I feel like if we're bluffing this, we're bluffing too much, but maybe that's just the bad way to lean. I mean, because I guess, do we have more flush? Yeah, this is not, it doesn't seem like, I feel like we have so many like one card thing, like flush draws that can do stuff. We have a
Oh.
lot of tens. Fold.
Check, check, and now he gives us the disrespectful bet.
I don't care. He can have it.
All right.
For reference, I use the term disrespectful bet for the one big blind bet, and just
Yeah.
as a joke, like the thing. But
It
it's
is, it
not
is
always.
disrespectful.
I have to admit, I've like now put it into my, everyday speech. And, I'll be like, talking to my kids about, taking a certain amount of macaroni out of the pot, and that's a disrespectful amount of macaroni. Right? And
That's
they're
great.
like, "What, Dad?" I was like, "Never mind, blame it." All right, this is just trash, right? Oh my!
No,
God.
it's 5 and a 3. It's only one gap. Let's
Oh.
go.
Oh,
You got us in trouble, Viv.
oh. You know
Just
what that?
call. Come on, you have a pair.
Oh.
Ooh, I don't. Oh, we don't lead our middle pairs. Wait, maybe no. I don't think we lead our middle pairs. We're leading a lot with our jacks and our draws. Oh,
What?
we do sometimes. Jeez.
Checking is also just fine here, though.
Checking is a double check mark. Look, we're gonna lead a lot with jacks and our draws.
They probably are bad jacks.
So, what are our bets? We are betting lots of jacks, lots of sixes, lots of fives, and a smattering of crap. Everything finds a little bit. And it sizes up with sixes.
Oh,
not
I meant
jacks,
our trips, not our jacks. I meant to say our sixes and our draws.
and our worst draws here. 4-2, 4-3,
Yeah.
4-7, 8-7. All of these choose the bigger sizing. And then the small sizing is very much all of our fives are choosing this at some frequency. Right? Protected by all of our sixes and all of our jacks. But again, also just fine to check. Oh, and we get blasted. So we saw our range. We're here with lots of jacks and lots of sixes. Do we still defend a 5?
I think we defend every pair here. I think we defend every pair in our range at this point. I don't think we would fold.
Oh, feels bad, but you're right.
Yeah, I think we are gonna call that one, and then if we check, now we're gonna fold. We might fold the river, yeah.
Yeah,
Might fold third pair on the river. Nothing like being short stacked to make you say might fold third pair on the river.
I mean, I'm kind of a station non-believer, and then I had to remind myself to fold.
Oh my
Oh, wait.
goodness.
I mean, I would fold versus humans. Look at that 0 EV. See, on the turn, it makes money. On the river, you can fold, might fold. It is 0 EV.
that has
You
to,
can
yeah, I was gonna
fold or
say
you
that
can
can't be
call.
that has to be like a 0.01, like
It is, but on the
Zero.
turn, you need to be calling most of the time. But then on the river, if he had the balls, if she or he had the balls, or the not, or the
Yeah, the whatevers. Yeah, it's mixing with its 5s here.
0 EV.
yeah, 0.01, 0.
Yeah.
It's literally like
But the 5-4 blocks something. I don't know.
If I think 5-4 is actually a better call than 5-3. Well, it doesn't really matter because
Oh, yeah.
what does he really have that in this spot? I think blocking like a set, like a 4 or a 7 really isn't that.
I
A
mean, I
7 is
wouldn't.
more
I
relevant.
wouldn't read into too much the result on the river, but yeah, it's you can call or you can
Yeah.
fold.
Yeah, it's pure calling with an 8. And it's struggling with a 5.
Yeah,
the-
because eights.
And then a lot of the
Eights deep
fives, like the
blocks.
10-5, 9-5s are gonna want to fold because now you're blocking some of his
Oh,
potential bluffs.
okay.
You just paid off that jack.
Thanks,
That
Viv.
person. You
Thanks,
knew he
Viv.
had a jack. I mean, I told you to fold. Okay. Yeah, we learned that we even call this versus. We can call this. No, it's queen. Yeah, we call this even versus.
And
That's
although I
right.
think all of the queens call.
All the king's horses and all the queen's men.
Okay, check.
Paired board, face the disrespect.
I feel like if we have a spade, we could be savage and raise, but this one we fold. We don't even have a spade.
I think you're gonna want to pull from like ace 3 with the ace of spades, not queen 3. You want the over to the king. Take a quick look.
We're gonna be check raising a lot though. And I think we're gonna have like one spade a lot. Gonna prioritize
ace
one
3.
spade hand over two heart hand. And
Yeah, just because you just have more of those in theory.
Yeah.
You just don't have that many.
Essentially, yeah. If you have an over here with a spade.
and
like,
look at
you're
this.
getting-
This is important. All kings are raising. You
Yep.
have top pair on this board. You want to get the money in. You're saying, come on, come at me. I'm gonna get the money in. All kings.
all your
All
kings are
kings.
raising. All your fours are raising. All your flush
That's
draws.
the
are-
main thing about 20 big blinds versus 40, because on 20 big blinds, all the kings raise. At 40, only like your king 9 and plus raise. A king 8 and plus, no, king 9 plus, I think at 40 gets your check raise.
Yeah, depending
but-
on texture. Yeah.
At 20 big blinds, every single king.
Go to town.
Ooh, ace 8 of love.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm jamming my aces too
Ooh,
much.
ooh,
Maybe no,
ooh,
ace 8
ooh.
I would call. Never mind.
Is this a board that
it's
we can
suited.
actually, okay. Mm.
I
is a
think
board
it
where
needs
we
to be
would
a
lead
3
a
or
little
4
bit?
to lead. I think it needs to be a 6-5-3 or 6-5-4 to lead.
Okay, maybe we don't.
But I think it might. I don't know. It always surprises me.
Well, remember, we are here with 4-3 offsuit, right? So like we have all 16 combos of the flopped straight here and lots of 2 pairs. Right? 'Cause we have all the 6 deuce suited, all the 5 deuce suited, and 6-5 off.
I think because we're short and because this is a really good board for our defending range, I think and because we have pretty good amount of equity, all things considered, this is a lead.
Check.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
no, I guess you can lead like if you feel like it, like the creatively, but I feel like this combo doesn't need to, but creatively, if you have like some trash and you think that your opponent is gonna fold, sure.
I think it's
But I
just because
feel
we have
like-
so many sixes and we have so many 2 pairs, we have so many
Generally,
sixes.
6-5-3, 6-5-7, 6-5-4 is gonna do the more leading. But you will probably have some, maybe like 30% or 25%. I don't think you're gonna lead that often though.
I think you are gonna lead a lot when you have a 7 in your hand, and you're gonna lead a lot when you have an 8 in your hand. But this is your best 8. I don't think it's gonna choose to lead this. one.
Yeah, because ace high has
But
like a lot of
we'll take a
showdown
look.
value versus like I think your lower hands are
Oh.
gonna lead. Whoa.
It's coming in and firing.
Yeah, and I just think that's just a function of the fact that we have so many sixes here.
Mhm.
It's so many 2 pairs and so many straights and just so
Oh.
many really good hands.
50%
I
of
did.
range.
I said it was gonna have 430, so I'm wrong. See, I keep not taking
It's-
the lead. You can just bet, you can just be like, oh, it has six,
But-
five, and a 6 and a 5. I lead.
Yeah, and I think especially it's a function of being short where we have top pair, we want to protect that hand and get money in now.
And it just takes all of these ones and checks them. Right? Its function comes from having all of this stuff and just betting all of it at some frequency.
Dang,
Right?
you're right about the 8s and 7s and then even the 9s. So if you have a 7, 8,
Yeah.
or 9, basically any backdoor straight draw can just bet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We can say there's a 6 and a 5, so we don't have to have 3 to a. I guess it does have 3 to a straight because it's 4, 3, and we're the only ones. So it's
Yeah,
a
it-
completed straight.
Yeah, we just have such a, I mean, if you probably look at the
Oh,
range
because if it's
advantage,
7, 5 deuce, then we're not leading.
yeah, we have
If
such a
it's
range
6, 5
advantage on
deuce,
this
we
board,
can.
we have to bet. If you look at the
Yeah.
range, if you look at the range breakdown, we're probably like 55, 54%.
Yeah, like it's very close here, overlapping in the middle for a little bit and then coming back and then going back over the top,
Okay,
right? Like it's as close as it gets. It's actually
it's like 52. Okay,
48
I thought it
to
was a little more.
51.
I thought it'd be about like
Right.
54, 55, but
No, because they still have over pairs.
Yeah, like they're still here with they still have sets of 5s and 6s, and then they just have 7s through ace. Right? We're devoid of the
We don't have
sets.
over pairs, but we have so many draws. And we
Yeah,
have so
and
many
we're devoid of the sets.
6s and 5s. And so we
and
can
we,
just.
and we do have, and they still, I guess, having.
Wait, our
another board
our
or something.
5s are leading too, right?
Yep. So essentially
Dang, that's
everything
50-50
except
lead on that board.
everything
'cause we're
except
short.
clubs were pretty much leading primarily. Right? Like
Dang.
the small clubs were still checking. That was
Okay.
about it.
But the jack is probably not so good for us.
Yep.
Yeah, so
We just have
that's
ace high.
intuitive.
Now we're just trying to get to showdown.
So just because you leave the flop doesn't mean you have to keep going crazy. That's what you can learn.
Yeah, like we checked this flop and then it went
Oh.
check, and now we just give up, I think. Oh,
No,
it still
sometimes you
calls it.
call because we played so passively, I guess, on the turn and river that now that we're gonna give him some room to hang themselves, I guess.
Look at this.
So
the
you can call
flop
sometimes.
Open-ended and just checks it.
I know
give it
it's
just a
smart
bit.
for them because imposition likes to realize their equity a lot when they're open-ended, and then they like to bluff other times.
All right. Is this a stuff or is this strong enough?
I think it would be like mostly call and like 20 to 30% jam. Because it likes to jam the offsuit king queen more, right?
Yeah, the
Oh no,
offsuits-
no jamming, just all calling.
no jam. Oh yeah, here we go.
He just loves it. Did you just like rig this to like give us really
I
complicated
think-
boards?
I think you did rig it to have us get us good hands.
No. Well, remember the disaster that was these two positions, and it was just fold. Now we get this. This is spicy. Oh, my hands are burning.
I think
to
yeah, I
check.
think it does because it's the top of our. I think it does the top and the bottom of our flush draw range.
I just think this is, this feels like one of those too much equity to raise spots. Like I just,
Well,
I mean, you can call. I mean, it's calls pretty well. Yeah, let's go crazy and say. I think we're gonna call 80%, but we're still gonna. No, I think it's
Yeah,
gonna call more. It's gonna lean towards call.
I feel like it's gonna do this more with when we have like queen and 10 high flushes. and
Because
king
we're
high
not super
flushes.
excited about the jack because they have all the jacks too.
sure.
See 90% call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the two, I think it's with the two overs. Probably leads that towards
We'll investigate
a
our flushes.
call. That would be my hunch. And is
Ooh,
it-
this is the only one that's calling.
Yeah, and that's why I thought like I actually am surprised. I thought it would maybe check some more king high flushes, but it makes sense, right? Because king queen is the only hand that has six effectively additional,
Like,
outs that
kind of
are potentially good.
kind of my thought is that this one would be the okay one to call to raise call off.
Yeah, if you're raising this, you're calling it off. Like you don't have
Oh,
to
no, for
worry about
sure.
it. And it has blockers.
Oh, and look at this. If we'd have check raised, we pick up equity with the straight draw too. Like I would just be jamming this here now. Like a savage animal.
I don't think this is one that we click back. Oh, you want to
Are
do
you
it?
sure? Well, we picked up equity with our straight draw,
So you
flush
think you're
draw,
gonna
two
click back,
overs.
call off? Oh, because remember, and on the other one it split, but I don't know. The click back call off and it had like a click back fold, but then this is versus a smaller bet. I feel like you just, well, maybe not.
I
think
feel
that-
like you just call again. I
I
feel
feel like
with the
calling,
additional
but maybe
equity,
I know that I have a bias towards call in these spots.
I just wonder if it's gonna pick the ace high hands that don't have additional equity, like ace X of spades with no additional. It's just like we have like the additional like 4 outs with the 10. I don't know. Like I think you can go either way. I'm
Yeah.
probably just
I have to admit, like in game, I am check raising here and jamming river, or maybe even check jamming here. But the paired board makes me want to shy away from this and choose this one. Yeah, it's there.
It's
can
there,
click.
but it's calling most, but you can click it back and call off sometimes. And
Yeah, 'cause here's
now
the
I
problem.
think,
Like we've gotten here, and essentially we're just going to show down king high because we're going to check and he's going to check, right?
hmm,
But if we'd have taken the more aggressive line, we would be jamming here and would be putting our chips into his 3 jacks. And we just have to fold, right? Queens. All right. Yeah, I would have gone broke this hand. You guys survived with 14 chips. Good job. I mean, how happy are queens to be check raised on the turn there? Ace 4, low jack. Is this a jam?
I can't imagine it is. I cannot imagine it's a jam.
can we raise 6 versus a low jack, or is it too? Are we
No,
allowed
you-
to do that?
Do we? But I mean, I
But
know
I
some
don't
of
think
our
it's
wheels
frequent,
will.
but maybe sometimes, right?
I think I agree with Viv.
Oh, no, never. Don't do it.
Gonna choose the
I think
slivers
it's
of
just
the
versus
ace
the
8,
the late positions. We like to be aggressive with this, but versus versus low jack, we're just like, meh.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the range construction here again and see where we're pulling our 3 bets from. Oops, back here before the flop. A little bit of ace 9, ace 8, ace 7, and ace deuce. If you are splashy and find a 3 bet here, you will notice that like 3 betting and calling is the same EV. So it's not a big
Yeah.
mistake if you splash around here and find some 3 bets periodically, but not too often because you don't have a ton of traps here. Oh, monotone board. Love it. Are we folding a pair ever?
No.
Calling every 4?
No, we can fold. No, we have to call. Are you serious? This gang. Really?
No.
Yeah. Well, what do you think his range is going to do? He's going to bet every card in his range here.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably what bidding. Well, it's monotone. Does he bet range monotone?
Every card in his range bets.
I mean, I guess we would fold the 4. No, we're calling it. I know there's boards where we're supposed to fold middle pair on monotone boards. And then there's boards where we have to call bottom pair.
Yeah, well, here we are. So our response to him betting his entire range here
It was just calling and then we get a
is
raise, right?
just
We're
calling.
raising, we don't even get to raise that much.
Nope. We just raise our best jacks.
I'm done. This game is so rigged.
Well, we get to raise some slivers of 4-3, of fours, or worst fours
Yeah.
can raise.
We get some fours in here that are splashing around, but ace four is just happy to go. Right, ace five, ace three. If you have the ace of spades, you could have a few splashes with it, but yeah. And ace jack, king jack, all of these ones, they just don't care what you have. They're just check raising their best jacks. Do we call all pairs to a double barrel? Because I mean, this 7 doesn't really connect with his range anymore.
Do we get a lead sometimes on this 7? I think we do. Since we
Nope.
already called. We don't, no, not
Zero
with the
leads.
4, but with some of our range. A lot of our range, like, don't our like one spade get to lead? And I think we're gonna fold the 4. I think we only called the 1 because we had to.
So on the turn,
Oh,
do have a bunch of leads.
yeah, so I'm gonna redeem
36%.
myself. I said that we get to, we get to lead a lot,
So
but
all of
not
our,
the ace 4.
so what are we leading? Our gut shots lead. Our open-ended straight draws lead. Our flush draws, so sometimes we lead the ace or the king or the queen of spades here, or the jack. Our combo draws lead.
Probably our pair plus draws lead, our
Our
bad
total,
jacks lead.
our total garbage leads 40% of the time.
Yeah, you get to lead a lot because it connects pretty well and the flush missed. But
Yeah.
we have a lot of things that want to go and we hit 2 pair a lot. We have straights
Yeah, when the
A
flush
lot.
draw doesn't come, we just bet it.
and we can just bluff a lot too. Like
Yeah.
you
Our
have to
7
remember
some
that
of our
has to like ding in your head as like it's time. I'm betting.
7-2 suited leads, which I think is interesting. Oh no, no, sorry, just the 7-2 of spades leads. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, so here, right, like the equity graphs are very close together. And we actually are ahead of our opponent for large portions of the range, except
Yeah,
the very
because they
top.
bet their whole range, but we didn't call our whole range. We only called like stuff with decent equity. So the equity shifted. And then the turn was in our favor for
Yeah.
in terms of the hands that we still have in our range.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
now that they're sitting there with ace like 4 or ace 5 themselves. Well, ace 5 and ace 4 are horrible examples. They're sitting there with king 10 of diamonds. And now
Yeah,
you're betting.
all the queen nines are there, right? They now have a bunch of trash that's all in this area.
They have queen 9 of diamonds sitting there like, God darn it. Why is Vivian betting?
Viv, you caught the lead spot, and yeah.
But not with ace 4. And this ace 4,
Not
I
with
think
ace
we like now the 7 actually gives our range so much interaction that we can fold the 4 now.
All right.
It's not a no, don't be a station up there.
It's a station. We're winning. All right.
Way
I told
ahead.
you they had king 10, you just sit there and it's just
Yeah,
the
you
way that
called
it
it there.
goes. You have interaction, you don't need to call the 4 anymore, but you have to call it on the flop. That's so weird.
All right,
Right.
10-8.
Call.
Oh. This one, I think we'll switch it up. Oh, 6-4-2 flopped straight, all kinds of banana stuff. Are we getting
Ooh, I
after it?
think if if we can bet it, this is our junk and we're betting if since we know that we're allowed to, we can bet. Really?
Never.
Are you
I think-
serious?
I think it's gotta have interaction with the spades and the hearts for you
Is
to
it
bet.
because was the other board rainbow?
Let's take a peek see at this. Because yeah, this is the type of hand that I would be leading.
Yeah, I'm
a
like, I
lot.
have junk if we're allowed to, but I mean,
Junk.
we do.
Where are we? 10-8 off.
I think it's probably perfectly fine to lead this board against players who are just gonna react badly to the lead. But
Well, I
against the
think that
solver, it's
players,
different.
there are players that they will just be too tight.
Yep.
And they'll be like, I'll believe you, I believe you.
So it's pretty clear that it's
Because there are
driven
players
by
that
having a
fold high
spade.
cards too much, so. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're allowed to lead this board. But if you're versus a solver, then you probably should have a spade.
Yeah, you're allowed to
Or
lead this
against
board
the good
whenever you
player
have
who's gonna
this-
understand that you're going to, that you're going to lead this board a lot. Because you know that the range,
Yeah, and I mean, you're gonna probably barrel any card 8 and under. But weirdly, this hand without a spade checks.
Yeah, I guess we have some give ups.
Ooh, well, this is gonna be one at that sizing. That's
Don't
unfortunate.
call, that's negative 0.84. That's a lot when you call. See, they were just value betting their 6 there. Oh, we're
Yeah.
going to the later positions now. That means we get to go hog wild. We get to jam a lot.
That's right. It's
Why are
poker
they
players, not
jamming?
wild.
Just fold.
Oh, no, the button does have a jamming range. What
They do.
is
They get
button
to jam. They
jamming
get a
range?
jam. Okay, 2s, 3s,
Yep.
ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4.
Suited,
No,
yep.
really? Really, I don't think so. I
Yep,
think
yep,
higher
yep,
higher aces. 2s, 3s, ace 10 plus offsuit. Ace 9 plus offsuit. Ace 8 plus. No, I don't know.
no, I
10.
know, I don't think the.
I don't.
really, the
They
really,
do have a jamming range, but it's small.
yeah,
because you
it's,
get to min raise a lot.
it's like I think it's like wheel aces and small pairs mainly. And maybe
Yeah,
just a smattering of like Jack 10 suited type weird stuff in the middle.
Yeah, this is gonna be pocket 2s, pocket 3s, pocket 4s, ace 2, ace 3,
I
ace
tend
4
to not
suited,
rip 20 big blinds,
and ace 6, ace 7, ace 8.
but
ace
you can.
Offsuit.
Do you have it memorized, Mr. Peter?
I am an animal on this spot. And we can take a quick look at that range. Ace 3
Ace 3
suited.
suited. I guess it makes sense. You don't like raise calling it, but like I feel like I raise because I just like to play the button and I like min raising and I don't really split as hard. But yeah, you can jam
Jam,
2s,
jam,
3s,
jam,
and 4s.
jam,
Play the
jam,
best as a jam,
Jam.
especially in Chippy V. Yep, I
Yeah.
said it. Ace 9, ace
Jam,
8, ace
jam.
7.
Yep.
But I was wrong
Yeah.
when I said ace 10.
Yeah, I miss the Broadways a lot. This is the one those are the ones
So
I
it's
always
not
miss.
the ace deuce offsuit. I was wrong about that. It's ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4 suited.
Yeah.
The
It's,
offsuit doesn't make as much
You'll
equity
also
like
notice,
serious
like,
fold, and it's okay.
all of these jams, like 0.64 chips, 0.5 chips, 0.6 chips, 0.4 chips, 0.5 chips. None of these are actually particularly good. The
So
problem
I
is
mean,
they
you can
don't
min
wanna
raise your
raise
whole
folds.
range. It's okay. It's okay to min raise your whole range.
Well,
Well, I guess twos, it has 2s, 3s, and 4s, which I got right.
yeah, like,
They don't want to raise fold, and so they make so much more as a jam. But then look
So-
at queen 10 suited.
it's a function of generating fold equity. These hands are going to struggle to realize their equity post flop, so they have to realize their equity pre flop, and that's why the like 2s, 3s, and 4s really want to jam, right?
And then what
Uh,
about look at 10 jack? They're the same. It doesn't
10 jack?
matter. they're
No,
kind of
these
just
ones
doing
don't
that for balance.
Yeah.
Look
I-
at,
that's
okay, look
the-
at ace eight. I'm curious. I want to see.
Yeah.
Ace eight, it's the same. It's just deuces, threes, and fours that just really make much more as a jam than
Yeah,
as
it's
a
your
raise
wheel, it's your
fold.
wheel aces and your bad. And your lowest pairs are the ones where there's a real equity difference. I think
Okay, then
everything else
let's
is
look
was
at
kind
ace
of
three
whatever.
suited just for learning.
So if we go and we count down here, there's an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, a 10, a 9, an 8, a 7, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. The only thing that isn't board covered in this jamming strategy is a 6. So you're not board deficient on any board, particularly like when you jam your 20 bigs and the small blind has 30 and the big blind has 40, and they wind up seeing a flop, right? Like you're still board covered here too. Right? And a bit of a weird solver matrix there. Oh, again, just a jam. Just get out. Pocket fours.
Call.
Queen six. Easy call.
Oh my
All right.
goodness, this board, no diamonds.
No,
I feel
dime.
like this is the worst board ever.
Yeah,
Fold.
just an easy fold. Don't get in trouble. Just
Oh my
rips.
gosh, wow, this button keeps getting those deuce three every card but a 6.
We've made
Ace
2 live
7.
cards though.
Two live undercards. All right, queen 10. Here we go.
8, 7 deuce.
Ooh.
Okay, don't leave this one, just check.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you
Ooh.
can.
Let's take a peek at that because I am not leading an 8 high board. Is this something that's in the weeds, right? And this is 8, 7 deuce disconnected. It is just leading all kinds of 8s, all kinds of 7s. Yeah, and a bunch of 9s and some 10s. Yeah, particularly this offsuit side here.
It's just gotta find stuff. It's just picking stuff at frequencies because there's
Yeah.
just not much else for it to find.
Well, yeah, but like why would it lead here? That's pretty spicy.
Again, for the same reason for a lot of the reasons, like,
It wouldn't lead a 9 high board, but a 8 high board.
yeah,
Again.
because you're gonna have 8 hands, like,
And all of our
8x and
straight, I guess a
7x.
lot of our straight hands. Oh,
Yeah.
is it because when
Oh.
we're short, we don't like, remember when we discovered we were short and that we don't like check raising as much when we're short?
And we have 8s and 7s that need protection.
So all of our
Don't
like,
really want to get money in now while they're still good, and we're
all
short.
of our hands that would check raise at 40 and 30 are gonna start finding leads. Then like this 9, oh, I guess 9, all of those hands that have a 9, 9, 6, 9, 5, that you're like, oh yeah, you can't check raise that. They can now lead.
Yeah.
Oh, so we made fun of, yeah, just you can lead more at 20 big blinds. I need to remember that. Maybe I might like, cause when you check raise at 20 big blinds, it gets much more awkward compared to like 40 big blinds.
So queen 10, are we planning, like I'm planning on 2 street barreling this hand here now.
When we just pick up more equity, heck yes. And I think we're probably going to use like a bigger size. I was trying to say to use the 3 size before.
Ooh.
We do have 7s in our range.
I don't know if we
So
double
7?
barreled the 7, but it might do that savage if it's betting, because no, it just checks. I felt like
Just checks.
I was like, oh, this river is not so good for bluffing because it's like we're not barreling at the 7 on the turn, so we don't have as many 7s
Actually, we
unless we have a
do.
boat. So if unless we have two pair, then we don't have sevens. But
I
I
think we-
guess
I do think we bet this, if we led flop, we would barrel turn with a 7. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
At
but
least
flop would
certainly
check, check.
I
a
guess
flop-
we do have a lot of
Oh, we
sevens.
we did go check. I'm sorry. For some reason I thought you bet.
Yeah, no. So
Wait,
interesting
so it
spot.
went check, check, and then we probed the 7.
Well, we bet.
I
our
mean,
open end.
we probed the 9, and so
Oh,
we're
we
not doing
probed the
that with a
9.
7. That is, and I guess this hand is still kind of like at the top. We probably have a lot of worse hands, like
Yeah, 63, you know, some spade draws. Eh.
it just felt like kind of because we were blocking the hands we want to fold. We want to fold the queen 10 type stuff, but we have queen 10.
Oh,
Fold this one.
disrespectful bets.
Yeah, but he gets to do the disrespectful bet on that board because we have a lot of folds.
Ooh,
I don't. Aren't we like check raising like
King, it could be like
queen?
king.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're doing. I think it's king
6. I
and
think it's
stuff
king
like
6
that.
or king 6 and king 7 ever.
Call.
yeah, we're
Let's
gonna-
go.
we're gonna start
Call.
finding stuff in this end of the range. Gonna find a little bit against the button.
Or is it just,
King 8
Oh.
might be just a little too good.
I think it's king 6. I feel like there's like a king 6 or king 7 in there. Or maybe not.
King 4 and king 3 on the offsuit, and it is just jamming. King 5, king 6.
King 7 suited, that's what I was thinking of. I knew there was a king something in there somewhere. But it's suited.
Ooh. We have a spade. We have an over. Do we float once?
Oh, maybe actually. I don't know. Can you click it? Is that allowed? I'm clicking it now that you said.
Yeah, there is
It's
floating. there
allowed
is clicking.
sometimes. This
Yeah.
was my I rolled I feel like clicking it back.
Okay, you've clicked it. So now you get this Brachiosaurus on the turn.
You know what? Shit. This is where I get in trouble sometimes because you're supposed to give up sometimes. But I'm in the mood to bet 4.2, so I'm gonna bet 4.2.
Well, Viv's in the mood to punt a stack, and she's well on her way with the GTO approved play.
It's approved.
It's approved. Oh, we
And
got
I
the
have a spade, so I totally have King Jack right now, and I'm all in. Actually, I had
Oh.
Jack 10.
Viv the solver, and this is why Viv wins $15,000 live tournaments.
Hey, we have somebody in here that has one way more, but they haven't talked. So I'm not calling them out.
Not
Guys,
calling this-
C2N, I just
What?
said it.
We just jammed into King Queen suited.
He just
we had
punted
the-
off into the flush.
But we had the blockers.
Ironically, if he doesn't make the flush, this probably works for you, Viv. But there's also rebuys. All right.
I mean,
Ugh. Are we really gonna call
but
this hand?
remember that usually we're just calling the flop, or was it calling
Mm.
if it wasn't? It was calling or raising, right?
It was a little bit of call, a little bit of clicking, and a lot of folding on that last one.
And then yeah, you're folding a lot. So like
Oh.
remember that you're not doing that play every time, but if you do it,
Yeah, here's the raise that it finds. 10-6 off.
hey, this is when you feel like getting after it. And now you fold, see, because you don't have to think about it here. You can just say,
Excuse me.
most of the time you just call, but you do.
Where does he
I
have
guess,
ace queen
want
there?
to. Call there, call there, call there.
We're like, that's supposed to work. That's supposed to work. Okay. Paired eights.
It's like a
He gives us
We
You know
just
what
call
size it-
one time with our ace high. Just one
time.
time. Yeah.
one time, little bit of clicking,
It
little bit
doesn't
of
let
big
us
click.
fold. It doesn't. Why are we raising this? I don't know.
So it's because we have the 7 of diamonds, which matches the missing 8 of diamonds on the board. So we block some of the continuations that he's going to have here, like ace 8 of diamonds and 7 8 of diamonds. So we would do the same thing with the ace 8 and clubs here. Oh,
Okay, well, I didn't find it that time.
turn goes check, check. Does ace high want to showdown or bluff?
I'm gonna bet 1 big blind so that he has to call me with ace 5, and then he's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Do we bet one or do we bet slightly bigger?
I'm doing my own
On it.
thing.
You got it. Go for it. You do it.
I think it might be wrong, but I don't care. I'm
If the
betting
solver's
1
out
big
there
blind.
with a 1 big blind bet.
He is gonna get no. You bet bigger
The
because
motion is right. but
why do we bet? I guess we just our
When it-
range just wants to do it.
Yeah, when
I
it's
guess,
betting this much,
but
it's
isn't he
about
supposed to
money, but-
call us with all of the better ace highs though?
But he's also supposed to call us with, he also theoretically can call us with king high. It's actually a
people
very thin
usually
value bet.
don't.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
actually a pretty thick value, but it's earning 5 chips in a
3 big
7-chip
ones.
pot.
Why? Okay, let's see. I want to look, but I don't know. I don't always
Be-
check
because-
the
because we be-
solvers on the river, but like we can check for fun.
because,
this
you
is
know,
a-
there's spade draws that miss, there's,
All
we're
these
just,
aces
we're gonna have
are
a bunch of
valued.
probes that, we're gonna have a bunch of, we're gonna have a bunch of like river stabs that miss, and we're gonna check back a lot of.
Look
I
at
don't know.
this. All of our king high is checking back for like protecting our check range. And it's showing down king high and they're all positive. So it's betting all these ace highs for value. Which means he has to call with worse stuff than this ace high.
Feel like they don't.
No, I just, I would be
Well.
stuck.
When we do, what is his calling range? He has to call down all this ace high. He's calling down all this king high. He's calling down. No, these are 9s and 7s.
King 7 suited will call sometimes.
King
Wait,
7, queen
how is
7,
he-
Jack
wait.
7. And 7.
Wait,
Queen,
how is that makes no sense. Wait, you mean if 10-7 is what? Bluff catching?
He is bluff catching with 10-7 of diamonds here.
I
Seven
no
of
no
clubs.
one is doing that.
point, yeah, at a low frequency and it's losing chips.
Yeah, but it blocks like the
What is it? It, if anything, it blocks. Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna put so much stock in it.
yeah,
it blocks it blocks the the values, right? With
But if I
Eights
bet
and
1 big
stuff.
blind, I'm gonna get lots of king high calls, maybe.
yeah, and you're gonna get called by worse ace highs here too.
Yeah, but I don't get the point of 3. So,
Yeah.
maybe do
it's
2.
pure
Call it good.
but dang. Okay, next hand. It makes
Really?
the same. Okay, 3 big blinds makes the
Oh.
same as checking.
Oh, look at this. It still wants to call.
You
it's
know
such a
what?
value hand that even when it gets stuffed, it calls.
This is just so stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah, because who else is gonna have enough bluffs there to make a calling ace high a value call? All right, Jack 6. Bottom of the
Oh.
bucket. But we flop a jack, we flop a spade. Are we check raising?
Yes, every single jack.
So this is Jack 10 with a flush draw. This board is going to connect really well with all the stuff at the top of his range. King, queen, ace, queen, queen 10, right? There's going to be a lot of stuff that he connects really well with here. I think I might find a call here. But
And what-
it's certainly going to mix a lot of raises. Yeah. Yeah, it wants to go all in here even.
Yeah, like your worst, your kind of your marginal jacks want to do that sometimes. They just want to win the pot now. They want to,
Yeah. So
and I
the
assume that
problem-
those are going to be ones that generally don't have a spade are going to be the ones that are going to probably lean towards doing that. Like your jack 8, like offsuit with like no like jack of diamonds, 8 of club type hands. Or jack of diamonds, 9 of clubs would probably be something like that.
yeah, if you don't have a spade, you just wanted to go all in with your jack,
Yeah.
right? And then once you're below the 7, it just wants to go all in when you have a spade. Right? You don't want to go all in with a big spade. And yeah, all these jacks are just, if you don't have the hearts, they're just all going in. And then just some sick bluffs, but these are all spades. Queen deuce, it turns one of these deuces into a bluff. Queen deuce, it turns one of these deuces into a bluff. Right? Because I guess you have so many value jacks, it has to find bluffs. So it finds them with these spades, and then it still has to find a few more. And so it finds queen 2 and king 2. Turns your best top pair, best third pairs into bluffs.
Yeah, and it'll turn some of your your combo, like your pair plus flush draws into, but we'll jam those. It'll probably just click those.
Yeah, it raises the mixed sizing with those, which gives you the mixed sizing with all of these here too.
Yeah, that protects your clickbacks with your good top pairs and better.
But he just stuffs it on us, so. King queen, all right, really good. Oh, he turns this.
Oh,
Oh. Look at this button just getting the hot hands tonight. Again, Stuffalophagus, and we just never defend against it.
He needs to stop doing this. I'm gonna start doing that every freaking. I'm gonna remember that. He's
Yeah.
at 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 queen,
7,
7, 8,
9.
9.
Everything except the 6 has got to find a jam.
We call this one.
All this one. Oh,
right.
find the micro 3 bets. All right. Ooh. Well, I mean, what are we gonna do with this ham sandwich? Well, check. Is this just a give up?
I don't think we probed this because we have so many draws to go big because we're gonna be going big a lot here. We have so many draws. Wait, but we get to bet more on the 7. Like this one, we're giving up, but we get to bet more on the 7 when we called the flop. When I went check call, we get to bet the 7 very aggressively. But when it goes check, we actually have so much junk in a range that we can't just go savage. We're still gonna be betting, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna be as much as
Yeah.
when we bet was check call.
yeah, and our hands want to push. We want to push equity, and queen 3 doesn't push equity in that
Okay,
spot.
now, check. Do we bet 2.5 chips here and just try and get some folds?
Yes.
Oh, I just don't do that. Just takes queen high to showdown, and definitely getting blocked out now.
Well, queen high don't. Whatever that other hand that the 8-7 was, I'm gonna put that in trash.
Jack 9. Look at us get bluffed on the river. Is it diamond? It's probably okay.
Mhm.
Easy call
Call.
on the pair access. Okay. Continue. Ooh, gutter. Checking. My hands are getting itchy. Oh, gutter. My hands are very itchy. It's still jacks.
Duh. You freaking hit an ace on the turn. You're just joking.
Oh, he blasts us. Look at this. What are we gonna do?
Fold.
Fold. Oh, this. Oh. Yeah, like this 20 big blind jam has worked on us like 15 times tonight.
Why it's so effective?
So do you think that he was expanding his 20 big blind jam range?
They shown up with the goods every time. But...
Yeah, they have.
All
Call.
right, here we go. Call, and we are.
Yeah,
torching it.
if he's not jamming 6s and 7s, we just gotta go. Remember, the tip is you can call if they're jamming too low, if they're jamming 4s and 3s, you can just call this with pride, and that's basically, and they don't even have the higher ones, so you just be like, hi. Maybe that's why the queen 10 and whatever, jack whatever are in there. I don't know, I'm
Yes,
probably
that's
need to
he's gonna
remember
wanna have
that and
two
use
overs
that.
to our fives. All right,
Oh,
this is just
I
terrible.
mean, check.
Oh, it goes check, check. So here we have the same problem as before with our queen 3. We have so much junk. We are so bloated, and now it's a rainbow turn.
And we don't have any draws. So generally, if out of
enough.
position, you want equity to bet.
Okay, we have showdown. Is this a bluff catcher?
Oh no, this was the time to bet your one big blind.
It is sick.
It went check, 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 check. So you got to find some type of bet.
It calls us with ace high.
Yeah, get that money. That is every time you do that, 100 big blinds per 100 hands by betting
right.
one big blind there.
What do you want to do here?
You can call. I think call. It only gives you the options of calling all in, so it doesn't even give you the raise the 5, and so it doesn't even let you try that.
Yeah, I don't
Call.
think you have that in. It gets the cutoff for some reason.
I mean, the solver is only as good as your inputs, but a lot of times people complain about too little inputs, and I was experimenting with another solver where you can actually change the bet sizing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it will go towards a certain size, and it's really wanting to bet this size, the half pot, but it's gonna if you only give it 2 options, it's gonna split to which size makes the most sense. But then you'll see which size it really wants to use if you experiment, and it's like,
Yep.
oh, that's cool.
Oh, which one is that?
It was Ruse, and I was recommended to try it. It's okay, but I feel like if you have GTO Wizard, I was comparing, it gives similar answers, but the defaults are basically, it doesn't give you the right sizes, but you can change the sizes and see which size it actually wants to bet.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
But
saw
then
that
that also
Dr. K was talking about Munker Solver coming out with some yellow stuff and some 08 stuff.
Oh yeah, she's excited. They're excited about that.
But that's a shove.
Shovosaurus. Oh yes, that's right. All these suited aces except the 9, 8, 7, or 6.
Yeah,
is good.
versus the button, you're shoving a lot.
Yeah.
All those aces. But if you take that heuristic and take it as you see to to the middle position and late position, you get a punt a lot. But versus the button, you get to jam a lot because they're have a much bigger fold percentage, the button and the cutoff, because they're opening way more offsuit combos.
But you also get to call, yeah, you call it, kind of call like your offsuit ace. Basically, you call a lot of your pairs and you jam a lot of your pairs in your offsuit ace X. That's basically what you do.
Yeah,
And a smattering of other stuff.
all day.
Oh. Getting a,
Stuff it, though.
oh no. What do we do here?
Check fold. We have no equity. What do we?
No equity, no blockers, no business in this hand. But I mean, we're pretty low down in our range. We're 7 high. Like before, we've been checking with queen high and jack high. Like this is just terrible.
But we don't have a heart. We don't have a spade. We don't have a jack. We don't have. We have
Alright.
nothing to like. There's just nothing there. Sometimes you gotta let the hard to reach ones go.
Alright. We deuce. Ooh, find some raises with this queen deuce. Let's see. Monotone board. No pair, no spade, no play. Very easy. All right, I think we'll do one more good one, and then we'll wrap up for tonight. Let's find us a good one. I don't think this is gonna be it. That's just too easy a fold. And he has the super nuts. King 10.
I think that's just a call. Yeah.
Oh, love it. Just gonna check. Always raising. 4.8.
Mhm.
Always raising 4.8. Calls. At 5. We have the diamond. We're not afraid of the diamond.
Mhm.
Checks the bench. I am not checking. And pretty much any river card in the deck except an ace.
Yep.
All in.
Ace. Do we shut down on an ace river here? I'm gonna change that river card and see what we do with our kings. Ace of clubs. Our kings still mostly just get it. But I guess we're here with a bunch of aces now too. And even our queens still want to get it in.
And I think it'll instead your king X offsuit will start to depend on like suit combinations. Some like if you have if that's like the ace of spades, for example, like your king 10 with the 10 of spades will actually want to check more.
Okay. Yep. All right, safe spot here. Yeah. A value bet with queen 3 here. Right, earning 3, almost 4 chips. Wow, when we bet the small size. What does our opponent have to call us with? Our opponent calls us with 20% of range. Calls us with a queen, calls us with a king, stuffs any ace and all the best broadways. This folds out a bit. Our river bed is pretty thin here, actually. Our opponent is just littered with raising hands for value. Pocket nines. All right. Well, thanks for popping into the study session tonight, everyone. I hope you had a good time. You learned something.
We had a legend in the study session and you didn't even, did you notice?
Cindy,
Huh?